The ballroom glimmered under golden chandeliers, filled with laughter, power suits, and champagne glasses. Every major business figure in New York was there, celebrating the launch of the Ashford Group's newest luxury brand. At the center of it all stood Marcus Reed, a tall, poised man in his early 40s, the youngest black CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Known for turning struggling firms into global successes, he had been invited tonight as a potential partner for a $4 billion merger. Marcus had worked his way up from the ground, literally. Son of a janitor and a seamstress, he had spent his childhood mopping floors in the very buildings he now owned. Every move, every word he spoke, carried quiet discipline. He believed respect wasn't given, it was earned. But tonight, that belief would be tested. When the hostess announced the entrance of Charlotte Ashford, the room turned to watch. The daughter of the Ashford Empire, she was as dazzling as she was infamous, known for her lavish parties and biting arrogance. Her champagne-colored gown shimmered as she smiled at her father's guests. Marcus had been scheduled to meet her privately later that evening to finalize the company's collaboration. But fate had other plans. As servers rolled out a massive cake decorated in gold leaf and white roses, Charlotte took the microphone. "Let's celebrate the future of our company," she purred, glancing toward Marcus. "And maybe, get to know our new friends a little better." There was laughter. She waved Marcus over. "Mr. Reed," she said, smiling too sweetly, "you've built quite a name for yourself, haven't you? From janitor's son to CEO. That's inspiring." Marcus smiled politely. "I'm honored to be here, Ms. Ashford."
"Good," she said. "Then maybe you won't mind a little fun." Before he could respond, she dipped her manicured hand into the towering cake and smeared frosting across his suit jacket. Gasps rippled through the room. A few guests chuckled awkwardly, unsure how to react. Marcus froze, his jaw tightening. She laughed, raising her glass. "Come on, it's just cake. Loosen up."
The band faltered. Cameras flashed. And for a brief moment, Marcus stood alone in a sea of whispers. But instead of storming off or shouting, he simply reached for a napkin, wiped the frosting from his lapel, and said quietly, "You're right, Ms. Ashford. It's just cake. But sometimes, how we treat people says more than what we wear." Then he nodded to the waiter, excused himself, and walked out. The room went silent. Charlotte laughed again, trying to play it off, but the laughter died quickly. Something about Marcus's calm, dignified exit made her cheeks burn. Minutes later, her father, Edward Ashford, entered the ballroom. He looked furious. "Charlotte," he snapped, "what did you just do?" "What?" "It was just a joke," she stammered. "A joke?" he said sharply. "That man was about to sign a $4 billion partnership with us. He's not just any CEO, he's the reason our global division still exists."
Her smile vanished. Edward's phone buzzed. He looked down, his face tightening. "He's already called it off." "What?" she whispered. "He ended the deal. Effective immediately." Charlotte's heart dropped. Hours later, long after the guests had left, she sat in her car, replaying the moment over and over, the smear of cake, the look in his eyes, the quiet disappointment that cut deeper than anger ever could. She felt ashamed. The next morning, Marcus arrived at his office in Midtown. Reporters were already outside. The video of the cake incident had gone viral overnight. But instead of responding to the scandal, Marcus ignored the noise and went straight to a conference call with his board. "Sir," his assistant said carefully, "Ms. Ashford is here. She's been waiting for over an hour."
Marcus hesitated, then nodded. "Send her in." Charlotte stepped into the office, visibly shaken. She looked nothing like the confident heiress from the night before. "Mr. Reed," she began, her voice trembling, "I came to apologize. I was stupid, careless. You didn't deserve that." He studied her for a moment, then said, "Apologies are easy. Change is harder." She nodded. "I know. I don't expect forgiveness. I just needed to say I was wrong." There was a long silence. Then Marcus leaned forward. "Do you know why I walked away from the deal?" "Because I humiliated you," she said quietly. No, he replied. Because if I partnered with people who laugh at others' pain, I'd become one of them. Charlotte looked down, tears welling in her eyes. You're a better person than I'll ever be. Marcus stood, offering her a tissue. That depends on what you do next. She took it. And for the first time in her life, Charlotte Ashford didn't feel rich or powerful, she felt human. Weeks later, headlines shifted. The Ashford Group announced a new charitable initiative, $200 million to fund education programs for underprivileged entrepreneurs, and at the press conference, standing quietly in the back, Marcus watched as Charlotte gave her speech. Success, she said, her voice steady, means nothing if it costs you your humanity. Their eyes met for a brief moment. No anger, no pride, just understanding, and in that silent exchange, both knew something had changed, perhaps forever.